What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Callings and Careers. We're so very honored and excited to have you guys with us today. Such a privilege, such a joy to be back with my co-host, my recorder in crime. I guess is a good way to say that. I don't know. Well, this is Callings and Careers. I am Christopher Harris, and that is
Jessica Canty, your life and career strategist. I have a passion for helping melon and millennial moms who are high achieving careers. Hey there, so excited to be back.
Yep, she's back, y'all. And so I am excited because we are here on Callings and Careers. We do this twice a month to help you discover your calling and develop in your career with a specific emphasis on those that are unapologetic about their faith. We want you to understand that you do not have to turn your faith off in your career, that God, in fact, is interested in helping you to grow and develop and have great success in your career. And as Jessica just introduced herself, she is doing an incredible job as a life and career strategist. I am the founder and the CEO, co-founder and CEO of diversechurchjobs.com, where we primarily help people of color, but we help everyone in ministry, those that are in ministry professionals, find full-time, thriving, healthy career opportunities. In addition to that, we are also providing tools and strategies for that person to develop a healthy profile in their career. So we're back. And I do have to just say for a moment that, man, I've been on my knees praying for my co-host, y'all. She was on the sick and shut-in list.
COVID is still a thing. Wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance, because it will take you down. And so I
Wow.
definitely know that the prayers of the righteous avail much because I felt those prayers and I am back in action, ready to support you all in your careers. But you can't
Yeah,
have a career without having your health. So please take care of yourselves.
that's so good, Jessica. So good. Well, glad you're back on your feet and glad that everything is well and you got to smile back and you ain't got a text like, listen, pray for your girl. So I'm glad to see you back on your feet.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, man, there's been a lot going on in the news about what's happening on jobs, and we
Mm.
got folks that are still quietly quitting. We got folks that are trying to find next stops. We got folks taking, we got grown folk, real grown folk taking gap years now. Like, whoa, this is a thing. What in the world is happening? And at the
Uh-huh.
same time, we see people also trying to level up in their training, their personal development, and all those kinds of good things as well. The app Masterclass has got record subscriptions. We've got people that are doing documentaries on things like Netflix and other
Mhm.
platforms. LinkedIn Learning and LinkedIn Learning classes are blossoming and growing. So we obviously see that people are passionate about growing in their career. Jessica, we're going to talk about something today that I think is going to be really, really cool because I don't know that people often think about this from a um, maybe I should say professional development perspective, but it absolutely is. And so I'm eager to hear which direction this conversation goes. And for those that are listening, you can subscribe and follow us on YouTube. You can follow Jessica and I both on LinkedIn. And then, of course, we're also streaming this on Facebook Live as well. You'll be able to go listen to the replay of this on YouTube forever and a day on demand whenever you desire to do that. Today, we're going to talk about relationships. And
Mhm.
not your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife thing. That's for another conversation on another day. Today we're going to talk about the kinds of relationships that impact your work, your professional
Mhm.
life, and also in other areas of your life. Anything you want to say before we jump in, Jessica? Anything else you feel led to just kind of share with the folks today?
Oh, absolutely. We're on the heels. Today's, being the very first day of March. We just came out of that whole Valentine's Day season, and a lot of us are reevaluating our relationships, whether we had a Valentine or not, or we had to celebrate Galentine's Day, whatever that looks like. But the relationships we're talking about today are those that are really going to propel you forward, that are going to give you some truths, that are really, if you're ready to spring forward, if you're really ready to change your current situation or solidify it, then these are the ones you really need to think about, not the ones that are 50% off the day after the holiday, but these are the ones you really want to make sure that you're focusing in on.
Yeah, Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think this is going to be one of those things that really helps to set people apart. Um, I think Jessica, and we'll get into this more maybe later, but I think people miss this fact or miss this principle that, when people are praying and asking God for promotions on their jobs or for creative ideas or, any of those kinds of things to help you prosper and develop and grow in your career, oftentimes when God is bringing that answer, it's being carried by a person. And so if we
Mhm.
don't know how to treat people or engage with people, there's a buzzword that's going around now, a buzz phrase, should I say, known as emotional intelligence. And that deals with how we get along with people in the relationships that we navigate. So, anyways,
Mhm.
let's talk about some of the categories of relationships that are necessary for a person to thrive in today's context.
Absolutely. So, of course, in my fashion, is always, I'm gonna give you 3 to 5. Today is gonna be 3 relationships, and they're all C relationships. So, the very first relationship that you really want to focus on, if you want that promotion, you want that raise, you're ready to, get off the current project you're working on, is your career relationships. Your career relationships. Now, two of the relationships often get confused, so I'm excited about differentiating between the two, so you can be very, very clear. The very first one is your career relationship. So the first one, about this, think about your executive board, your career executive board. We've talked about it in a few episodes before, and I know that this year we're going to dive into it. But I want you to know that there's 4 people you need to have in your corner. You need to have a role model, a mentor, you need to have an advisor, or you really want to make sure that that role model, that mentor, that coach are all in place to be also your sponsor, excuse me. So your role model, your mentor, your coach, and your sponsor, all these 4 positions will really ensure to prepare you forward, to propel you forward, to prepare you for what forward is going to look like. This is different than the second one, which I'll give you a little more details about, but don't confuse this with the second one. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about why people often confuse it with the second one. So you definitely
Yeah.
want that career executive board.
So role model, mentor, coach, sponsor. Do this for me really fast, Jessica. Let's just
Mhm.
spend a few minutes though talking about that sponsor piece because people may hear that and think, man, I'm not in Alcoholics Anonymous. Why do I need a sponsor?
No, no sponsors. If you think back to like any fundraiser you did in school, you might have heard say, "Can you sponsor this activity?" Essentially, what they were saying is, "Can you put the weight of your money, your resources, your network, whoever you are connected to, behind this particular cause?" And so, a sponsor in your career is going to be that person that puts their name, their resources, their ingenuity, their know-how behind your career. They're the one who's going to say, "Hey, guess what? This is the job you want to apply for. Of course, I'll be a reference. Hey, when you get in the room, make sure you say it this way. This is what you want to make sure you put on your resume or how you're presenting it." So they're essentially your brand manager, but they're willing to put their name on the line to ensure that you're successful. So that's what it means by a sponsor. And a lot of times, especially in the African American community, we'll call it, "Oh, this is the person that gives you the hookup," or "This is the person that, like, oh, I know somebody that works there. My cousin works there." It's a little bit different, though, because a sponsor is like really wanting to make sure that you're truly successful, and it's not going to leave you hanging once you get the job. So I definitely want to invest in cultivating a relationship with the sponsor.
That's so good. That's so good. So good. All right. So the first relationship is a career relationship. What's the second one?
The second one is your cheer section. Is your cheer section
Ooh,
or your cheerleaders. Okay, so this is why I say it often gets confused. On your cheer section, it might be familial connections, it might be a good girlfriend, it might be a colleague, it may even be friends that you can kind of talk about near the water cooler. But a lot of people confuse their career executive board with your cheer section. Your career
ooh,
executive board are filled with knowledgeable experts that are really going to have you help you navigate the pitfalls that they may have fallen in. Really can make sure that you get the job. Your cheer section is the people who you tell once you've gotten the job. They're the ones who
yeah.
are like, "Yay, you've gotten it," or you can release some steam or release some stress with. And be very careful about who you're putting on your cheer section because that can impact your career trajectory as well. A couple of years ago, I started seeing this trend of people saying, "Oh, that's my work husband or my work wife." I'm like, listen, that's a bit messy for me, you know. So
Ain't
you really
no messy. It is way too messy.
It is. So please, if you're having those relationships, do not confuse them with the career executive board or your cheer section. Because a lot of times, especially when I'm working with clients and they want some help, they're like, well, I'll just have my mom do that for me. Or I'll just have my sister do it. Like, unless they're an expert in that, then they should just be the ones who are congratulating you, who are giving you words of, yeah, you can do it, you can encouragement. They're not necessarily the ones who are equipped to actually get you in the space to get that promotion and that raise. So you got to be very, very clear that you do want to work, friend. So it doesn't feel like, especially if you're in a toxic environment, you need someone to kind of vent to be able to support you through that space. Doesn't mean that they can't shift over, but be very clear that there is a differentiation between someone who's actually going to tell you this is who you need to call, this is how you need to dress, this is how you need to experience, or this is how you need to shape that experience, versus someone who's going to be like, hey, I'm excited for you, friend. That's a complete difference between that career executive board and that cheer section.
That's so good. So good. I think sometimes we underestimate, that when there are people in your life to encourage you, at the root of the word encouragement is courage, right? They give you courage to do what you need to do. And there's even this proverb that says that if you fall or you stumble, when you've got people in your life, they can help pick you back up or help you to keep going. And so sometimes we're not as strong as we need to be because we don't have a cheer section, a group of cheerleaders. That's so good. All right. What's the third one? What's the third one? We're going to do the last one.
Absolutely. The last one is your Christ-centered connections. So we're here talking about having Christ-centered careers. You can't do that without having some Christ-centered connections. So I'm a God girl. I'm a Christ girl. So I really believe it's important that we have those connections with the body of Christ. Now, again, some of these relationships can start to bleed together in terms of your trajectory. You'd be surprised, the person that you don't want to fellowship with after service, you're trying to hurry up, get in your car, they might be the person that can be your career role model or your mentor. You'd be surprised just how often of being able to have someone to pray. So you Christ-centered connection to be able to propel forward when it comes to
Uh-oh.
Here. Okay. Oh no.
The internet. Can you see me? Internet, something happened.
Okay, can you see me now though?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. So that Christ-centered connection really can help us to determine, is this a flesh thing that I need to get under control, or is it a spiritual matter, and really being able to differentiate between the two? Because a lot of times in the workspace, there's not going to be someone that says, here's a scripture I have for you today. Here's something I can tell you about, a discerning spirit about this particular person. So we definitely need those Christ-centered connections to help us feel more empowered in the work that we're doing or the calling that God has for us.
That's so good. So here are the three relationships, just in terms of review, and we'll spend just a few minutes again, just kind of breaking these down. Today is going to be a little bit of a shorter conversation than normal. But the first one is that career relationship. The second one is that cheer section. And the third one is that Christ-centered connection. And I think even with that Christ-centered connection, this person is going to be helping to monitor your inner life. Because who you are on the outside is only a reflection of who you are on the inside. So this person sees you in your working environment, and they will help to cultivate and hold you accountable for who you say you are by faith. And so that's really, really good. I love that. This is also going to be so good because this also starts us in a positive direction versus the negative one. The next time that we jump on here, we're going to deal with how to deal with those problem relationships. And I think, so many people focus there, but we got to start positive. You need a career person, you need a cheer person, and you need a Christ-centered person. This is so good and so powerful in such a short amount of time, Jessica. Such a short amount of time.
Which means you definitely need to make sure you click replay on this and make sure you grab your pen and your paper and your pal to make sure that you're capturing these things. Like, ask yourself, put it on a calendar. Do you have, like, this week I'm going to focus on getting a role model. Next week I'm going to focus on being a mentor. What we're talking about is college level masterclass information. The question becomes, how are you going to apply it? We're making it streamlined and simple for you. The only thing you have to do is apply it.
I love it. Catch us the next time on Callings and Careers. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube or on LinkedIn or on Facebook. This is Jessica Canty. You can catch her at jessicacanty.com.
Absolutely.
And you can
and every other social media platform, Jessica Canty.
I love it. There's the name and the profile there. You can catch me at christopherjharris.com. and all the social media is CJ Harris ONE, and I would love to connect with you. Welcome to Callings and Careers, where we help you develop in your calling and discover your purpose as you develop in your career. So thank y'all so very much. We'll see y'all the next time. Peace.